Once upon a time, we were inseparable.
Until we weren't.
Welcome to Ex-Bffs, the podcast for two chaotic souls, one punk and a little unhinged.
One soft and pink.
Reunite with a mic and a lot of stories. I'm Kat.
And I'm Jax. In our first episodes, we're going to be diving into the rise, the fall, and the resurrection of our friendship.
And after that, it's open season, from spiritual journeys and friend breakups to anonymous listener confessions and the wildest brother stories we can find.
If it's messy, magical, or mildly traumatizing, we're talking about it.
Think of us as your cosmic gossip hotline with emotional damage and healing energy.
So grab a drink, get cozy or chaotic, and join us every week on Kat and Jax, Ex-Best Friends.
If we can keep up with it.
We will, because I'll be driving here.
Okay.
So, you want me to start it since I met you first, technically? Because, camera, excuse you. It keeps, zooming out.
How did you meet me first? Were you in my walls?
Yes, I was in your walls.
We met each other. When you meet someone, you meet at the same time.
Well, no, here's the thing. Because it was, because I saw you first. That sounds really creepy. I'm meaning. Hear me out, chat. So, starting off the story, though, when I was in 6th grade.
And I was in 8th.
You were
or
in
7th. I tricked you! You got me!
Anyways, so when I was in 6th grade, we did a talent show for our middle school. And I was reading poetry. And I believe you were singing,
I was singing some sort of Zendaya song, singing it horribly. Anyways.
Well, yeah. But afterwards, I think it was your dad who actually introduced us or something. Because I remember your dad was there.
I think what I remember is so... Oh, God. My memory's horrible. Okay, but,
I don't remember entirely, because, my memory's super horrible, too.
I don't think our dads knew each other yet.
No, they didn't know each other, but I remember your dad was, the one talking for you a good majority of the time, and this was before you transitioned.
Yeah, because I don't know how to talk to people, so my dad used to talk for me. My dad used to not let me get a word in, because he was like, I'm not gonna let you make it awkward for yourself.
Right. But, then you and I, we quickly became friends, and
we did some sort of play in the summer after the talent show.
Oh, yeah, we were doing class act.
Yeah, we were.
I completely forgot about that.
And then we did something about, some skillet
Which one
play.
was that? Wait. Which play was that?
It was the skillet play where you were a singing bird who kept getting kidnapped, I'm pretty
sure.
Yeah.
There was the, Crash McBash and the Giant Skillet.
Yeah.
Where I played a bird named Lala, and I would have to sing, really, really off-key. What was it? I had to squawk a lot, and I fucking hated that.
I had to play a wizard or something, if I remember
You were a witch. Or no, you were a wizard, because this was before you transitioned.
Yeah. Now I would be a witch, but if you're watching Wizards of Waverly Place, because that's my lore, women can be wizards.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Only Harry Potter, which we won't speak of, changed that. So, oh,
sorry to the person who was requesting on the live. We are not bringing people up.
Okay.
And dude, if you have questions about the pronouns, come back another time when I'm actually hosting a live about it. Oh, our names are swapped. We're supposed to be swapped. Because look, you're on my side and I'm on your side.
No! Crap!
It's okay. Anyways, back to the story. We'll just cut that part out.
I'll cut parts of it out.
So anyways, we did a performance together. It was called Crash McBash and the Giant Skillet. I played a bird named Lala, and I had to sing really off-key, squawk a lot, and I would miss my lines, my squawking lines, constantly. But I remember one of the songs I had to sing was, "It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all." I had to sing that one off key. And it was funny. But that was probably one of the first performances I did, I think.
I had been doing performances for a while because I did Missoula Children's Theater growing up.
Right, but I didn't. That was my first acting thing that I did, and then I got really into acting and I really loved it. Mm-hmm. But then you and we would go and rehearse lines all the time. I remember that.
Yeah, and then
I'd come over here and come over to your house. We'd rehearse lines.
And I'm pretty sure one day I was like, hey, father, can I have a friend over? Guess what? I have a friend now.
But then through that, when I was in 7th grade and you were in 8th grade,
I
think that's when you started questioning your gender identity.
Yeah, and I think that, like, what I remember is we were doing, what's that play called? Oh my god, this is a really dark thing that happened. I don't even know if Jackson remembers it, but we were doing the, like, the one where, the circus play, Circus of Secrets.
Oh, yeah,
and then I'm pretty sure there was a carnival going on, and we were giving you a ride, and then you were like, I'm bisexual.
Oh, I remember that! No, it was, I know what you're talking about, because, so, we were doing, yes, that was that, no, that wasn't the play that you're talking about, though. The play that you're talking about was Mary Poppins.
Oh!
And we were doing Mary Poppins Jr., and there was something that in our town that's called the Arts Festival.
Yeah.
And at the Arts Festival, there was a guy holding a sign that was supposed to be preaching the Bible and everything. And during this, he starts, like, there's this guy that walks by, and you can tell, like, he is pretending most likely to be on something, or, like, absolutely batshit crazy. Yeah. And this guy, the guy holding the sign and, like, preaching everything, tells the guy to come here, and he starts, like, praying to him and expelling the demon from him. And then the guy walks off perfectly fine. We're like, that was a hired fucking actor.
Yeah.
That was a hired actor. So then my class act group, because we all had decided to go to the thing together.
And not to stereotype, but it was theater, so a lot of us were in the community.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's a natural, like, genuine stereotype. Not everybody within the community are actors, but not every actor is a community member, but a good majority of the community members are actors. And so with that, what ended up happening was we were, as a group, we were like, what the hell is going on? And so one of our castmates went up to the guy and was like, well, what about queer people? Like, what about us? And he immediately starts yelling at us. And we're like, you have to, like, keep in mind that we were, like, between the ages of 12 to, like, 16. Yeah. And this guy in his fucking 30s or 40s is sitting there, like, yelling at us children.
Like, I'm pretty sure the oldest person was, like, second or third year of high school, and then the rest of us were in middle school.
Yeah, no, that's exactly who it was. That was Lauren. Lauren was the oldest. Lauren was, like, 16 at the time.
And I'm pretty sure, wasn't she the one that's jumped up?
Yes, and that was the one who, she was like, why are you talking bad about people like this?
And I think if we had been there now, I think most of us would have had the knowledge to just say something, not to just walk away.
Just walk away. We would have walked away now. Yeah. Like, I would not have interacted. But,
we would not have given them attention, but we were children, so we felt like we should give them attention.
So, but either way, though, the police got involved and had to pull this guy away from us. And he was just sitting there yelling at us, like, telling us to repent, telling us that we're demons. And we're all like, we're children, dude. Yeah. We're children.
And here's the thing, we live in a small town that most of the people, for the most part, are pretty liberal. I wouldn't say they're leftists, because that's different, but I would say that most people are pretty, well, not most, that's probably not true, but a lot of people in this town are in the community, and a lot of people are...
There is a lot of, like, accepting people, yeah.
Yeah,
in our town.
So I'm pretty sure this was a new experience.
A lot more than I expected, actually, because our town is, like, pretty much a retirement area. Like, it's a retirement city. Mm-hmm. And so, like, a lot of people that live here are, like, boomers. You know, they're the older generation. And so, you know, a lot of them are the older generation. So you would assume, oh, these people are going to be conservative Republicans. Not republics, Republicans. Mm-hmm. And so you would assume that they're not going to be super accepted, but you would be surprised. Yeah. There's actually quite a people.
So, like, for some of us, this was, like, our first instance. And this was before this was, like, far before I knew who I was. And, like, believe it or not, so, truth time.
That's not true, though. Because I remember in Mary Poppins, you started... What was that? Oh, was that your phone? Yeah. That scared me. It's okay. So, what I remember is that in Mary Poppins, you did play a female character. You were one of my sisters.
Yeah.
At one point. You were supposed to be, like, super bitchy?
I think. I don't remember this.
I don't remember. You'd have to ask your dad.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I remember being, like, I had one line and you didn't have any, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the one thing I do remember is that The one thing I do remember is that you and your brother were supposed to pretend to be siblings, which you already were, and you were like flying a kite. And he's like, your little brother, he's flying a kite.
Yeah, and I played like that role, and I also played like some mailman who had one line.
Okay, I didn't remember you playing.
Yeah, I had one line in the whole play, and it was special delivery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that actually before you transitioned?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was.
All I remember is that at one point, you and we started like talking about gender identity.
Yeah.
Because I came over to your house one day, and I remember I came over to your house and you had a Barbie. And I was like, why do you have a Barbie? Because I was an ignorant little child. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was a little bit ignorant. And, I came over and, at the time, I'm not going to dead name you, but like, at the time, Kat was using he, him pronouns, masculine, before transitioning, and I was like...
Biggest mistake of God was making me born wrong, because God should have known what would happen.
No! Hey! God didn't make you wrong. He just made a little mistake.
Yeah, listen, God, you make mistakes.
Let's not make this religious.
Okay.
Anyway, so what ended up happening was, I asked you, I was like, why do you have a Barbie? And she's like, oh, I just like Barbies.
Mm-hmm. And then
I found out you had like a bunch of American Girl dolls.
Dude, I still love American
I know, it's
Okay,
creepy. There's
so
one down there that's scaring the crap out of me.
I have like 5 behind my desk.
I'm aware. And then there's more in the closet over there.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know, a lot of people, like, a lot of the friends I made here were terrified of dolls, and I was just here like, but they're so cute, and I want all the dolls in the
No! So... But, like, I asked you, I was like, why do you have all this, like, girly stuff? And, like, I started to learn what transgender meant. And because of Kat. Like, I started learning what transgender meant because of her, because I was like, I feel like this might be Kat.
Yeah, and I also learned that the LGBTQ community did not suck because of you. Because for context, I grew when I had moved like the previous year. I had lived in a very conservative farm town where I didn't even know what the community was. Like one time, people asked if I was lesbian to make fun of me, and I said no, and they said it meant human, and I believed them, so I said I was lesbian, and I got made fun of for a whole year. Anyways. I mean, not that far off, but
I'm listening. I'm also trying to... I wanted to see if there's a way I could turn off guest requests, but...
Okay.
Oh, it might be in this way. Hold on.
So what I remember is, like, before we went to this carnival, right, we were going to meet a lot of the theater kids there, and Jax needed a ride, so my dad was giving Jax a ride, and I'm pretty sure Jax said something about how they had a girlfriend at the time, and they were bi. Like, so me, being me, was like, wait, what's the word bi mean?
And I remember, like, teaching you about different things within the community, and I was like, oh, there's this and this and this, and then I taught you about what transgender was, and... I remember you looked at me and you're like, that might be me. Like that was the sensation I got from you, was just like, that might be me.
Yeah, I think I always knew that I was a woman. I just didn't know the right words and the right way to express it.
Yeah.
Because literally everyone knew. So, literally everyone else knew. So,
everyone knew.
I'd like to hope I knew
Everyone
deep down.
knew.
I'd like to hope I knew deep down and wasn't completely stupid.
I think you did know deep down because you had all the what would be considered feminine things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had pink clothes, you had Barbie dolls, and
this was kind of a thing, right? So I loved my mom, but she would not let me have feminine things because she was scared I'd get beat up at school.
Right.
So. But my dad has always been... So my mom was the strict one, and my dad was the nonchalant one. So when my mom... won't get into that, but she wasn't around anymore. I'll say that much. But...
Say she passed.
I didn't want to get into the trauma in episode 1, but okay.
You can just say she passed and we can talk about it later.
Okay, she
Cut that
out. She passed, right? So then immediately I started a lot of the rules kind of lessons. I was like, okay, let me get all this pink stuff, let me get all these dolls.
Right.
And like...
But like, when we were friends, like I was saying, you know, I taught you about that stuff, and then after that, I remember like we started talking about gender identity, and let's see, I started helping you transition. I remember that. Like, I helped you tell everybody that, hey, your name is can I say your old name?
Sure.
Originally, she went by Christy. And I helped her tell everybody, this is Christy. She uses she, her pronouns. And I would correct people for her because she hated doing that.
No, okay, so so for context, this is who we were back in middle school. Jackson was way more willing to, like, confront people than I was. I've always had confrontational anxiety. Like, I'm not good at confronting people or saying, like, I'm not even good at saying my feelings on things for fear of people getting upset when they don't agree. Right. So, but Jackson was, I don't know if you're still that way, but they were not that way back then. They're not afraid to call people out. No. We are opposites in that way. So, like, what would happen, like, I was very silent, right, when people would call me out. Like, oh my god, I have this memory. Oh my freaking god. Okay, so I had this fake relationship with this girl. It wasn't real because she dumped me for a fictional character. But basically,
keep going.
But I remember
something I've heard this story before.
She was straight AF, right? She was straight AF, and then one time someone in art class saw me dressing like a girl, and they were like, "Wait, are you a girl?" And I was like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, aren't you dating that girl? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, but isn't she straight? And I was like, yeah. Doesn't that mean she's lesbian? And the thing was, like, I hadn't told her yet because we had the thing before that. But me and her ended for, like, it wasn't even real, so it doesn't matter. But then there were other experiences, right, where. So for context, before I met Jackson, I had met these two people. One of them will come up in our reuniting episode. If you remember.
Oh, are you talking about Reese?
No, Serafina.
Oh!
Like, her, and she had this best friend, right? And we had done this play. Well, we had done, like, this thing where you would either make a documentary or make a play. And this one girl, nothing against Christians, to be clear, my best friend is religious, my current one. I love people who people can practice whatever they want, and it's amazing and beautiful.
And maybe another episode we can get into our personal beliefs and talk about our experiences with those things. However, just for this first episode, we're going to keep the religion out.
But I'm going to say, though, what I am going to say about it is, like, this was a very Christian-based play. It was supposed to be something from history, and I didn't have a group because I didn't have friends, so the teacher, everyone else had a group. So the teacher put me in a group with these two girls. One of them was really nice, but has some, like, mental issues. Well, I don't know the right term. Disabilities. Yeah.
Are you talking about Serafina stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also autistic.
Yeah, and the other girl, right?
With a behavioral issue, I believe.
And the other girl, I think, was as well, but she was also, like, heavily religious. Like, she basically liked to take the lead and take charge of everything. Like, me and her, the other girl, no say. Like, she did this play about, I don't even know, I don't know, I think the figure was named George Mueller. I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know much about it when we were doing it. Right. So, there's a reason that in the competition we got eliminated in the first round. So, anyway, I digress. But yeah, so, and then me and Jackson had met after that, and we'd become really close. I think I didn't have friends, and I think Jackson was having a falling out with a lot of them at the time, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it was kind of perfect timing, because I guess I had a few friends, but I don't know how to explain it. It was like, we did not click that well. We liked each other, but, like, Jackson was the first person I really clicked with, I feel like. Right. Yeah. And then so it's cute to one of my birthday parties. It was like 8th grade. Oh my god, how old was I? So this was before I had fully transitioned, but I knew, and right, for context, right, this girl was there. Like, I had all the people I liked there. And this girl, I'm pretty sure we were playing Truth or Dare, right, in my brother's room. I don't remember why we were in my brother's room, but I remember we were.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. Oh, I do know this. I know what you're talking about. I remember this.
And so this is when, and I
We
didn't...
were in her brother's room.
And for context, I'm saying this not to, like, attack this girl. Like, I'm not even gonna name her.
I remember the reason why we were in your brother's room. We were in your brother's room because he has a bunk bed in there. And so some of us were on the top bunk because Dylan... Excuse you, camera. It's trying to unfocus again. There you go. Oh, no. So... Your brother was was like, hey, you guys want to see my room? I have some cool, like, stuffed animals and stuff, because, so we were all like, oh, yeah, let's go do it. So we went in there, and then some of us were on the top bunk, some of us were on the bottom bunk, some of us were on the floor, some of us were in his, like, little chair that he has, like, a couple different chairs that we have. Because there was a bunch of us in there. There was, like, what? We had, like, 8 people total?
Yeah,
8,
like,
9?
this was the most I'd ever had for a birthday party.
Right.
And it's the most well, actually, no, in 2020 I had an online party with online friends and real people, and it probably was, like, 10. But that was the most of the time.
Besides the point, though, we were all in his room because he wanted to show off some stuff, and then we ended up devolving it into, like, playing Truth or Dare or whatever.
Yeah, and then at one point what came up was celebrity crushes, and I think you said
I
two women you said were Zendaya and Sniper Wolf, I'm pretty sure.
Was it Sniper? It was Sniper Wolf!
And that's aged horribly.
Sniper Wolf, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. And to any Sniper Wolf haters, I understand.
We know why. We validate why she sucks. Okay.
I didn't know back
we
then.
didn't know at the time what was wrong with her.
This was like what 2018.
Like I'm pretty sure you had said Zendaya and
17,
Sniper
2016?
Wolf and this girl and some guy, and this girl was like, "Wait, you like the girls?"
I was like, "Oh no shit."
And you were like, "No shit, I'm bisexual." And
like,
then
yeah.
this girl said with genuine confusion, get it or not, like genuine confusion. She was like, wait, but that's against the Bible. How could you be in the community?
I remember that, and I was like, I don't care what the Bible says. And she got super mad at me. Like, I remember that, because I was like, well, I don't really care. Like, I just like girls and guys.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I think I made her cry.
No, she did cry. Okay, so what I remember is you and this other girl who neither of us like anymore, but different reasons. We'll get into other stories in later episodes. But this other, you guys, like, because this girl really changed. Like, she would have been, like, with the other girl.
Who?
If, like, Cece. Like,
Oh,
she
yeah.
was with you then, but, like, end of high school, she would have been on the other girl's side. I guarantee it. Like, they stormed out, right? And this other girl, right?
Because at the same time, this other person, Cece, was also, I believe, bi or pan.
I think she was
questioning. She was questioning at the time or whatever, and she's now not a great person. We're not going to talk too much about her. But I swear that I kissed her in front of the other person to piss her off, but I don't remember. I don't remember.
You know,
I
maybe
swear I kissed someone.
I don't remember.
I swear I kissed someone, but I don't remember.
Yeah. All I know is it was not me. That's all I know. But, so for context, I think what Jackson said in response was, and I remember this, but you might not remember this, and this is not meant to attack them at all, but...
Yeah, but go ahead.
But Jackson was basically like, well, it points to me is bi and trans or something, and I was
like, oh yeah, she's trans.
And she basically
I outed you. I outed you on accident. That was 100% on me, and I should not have done that, and I regret my behavior.
It's okay. I'm just bringing it up for context.
I know, it's okay.
Because we
have gone past this.
Yeah,
we have moved past this.
It plays into our story, but like we both had things to work through. I think that Jackson was so open that it took them a little bit to learn that other people weren't as open, but they've got to it. So we hold nothing because now they know not to out people.
I had also absolutely no filter.
No filter.
I have a filter now, but it has cracks. It has a lot of holes and cracks in it.
Okay, but basically, so Jackson says that, and then I think I kind of just like went like I kind of just buried my head around embarrassed at the time.
Oh, yeah, and
Because
then...
I wasn't even, like, transitioning, because I'm pretty sure my dad still had mixed feelings at the time, that was why.
Right.
So, then they storm out of class, and what I remember is, so, we were eating
Not
cake,
class.
like...
It was your room.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was your brother's room,
Okay.
but yeah.
It was a class on how awesome I was. I'm kidding. But basically, this girl, and what I remember, right, is, and my dad was kind of on her side. He said she didn't know that she was being homophobic, so it wasn't fair, for context.
Yeah.
But I have others, there's stuff that happened after that makes me not believe that. But basically, what ended up happening, right, is, so the rest of us, except you two, were, like, outside, like, cooling off, right?
Right. You guys were out on the back porch.
Mm-hmm. And then
Cece and I were still upstairs, because I was really upset, too.
I'm pretty sure you two were in the front porch, and the rest of us were downstairs eating cake at this point in the story.
Maybe. I don't remember. I just remember that I know that we were separated because Cece was trying to help me calm down because I was super upset and so was she. The two of us were trying to help each other calm down, which when you put two people with anger issues together and trying to calm each other down while you're both fucking angry does not work. And
I'm pretty sure, like, I tried to go out there because I agreed with you guys. However, it was one of those things where I think you guys didn't want my birthday to be ruined or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
we were like, oh, we need to calm down because we don't want your birthday to be ruined. And we were like trying to be nice.
Here's the thing. If I had any agency at the time, that girl would not have been at the party. But there were reasons for that not being, like, a possibility at the time to kick her out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, we were eating cake, and I look over at the other girl. She puts her face in her hand, and I'm like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, I'm fine, just trying not to cry. And I, like, in my head, rolled my eyes. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty good at having empathy for people, but in that case, it's kind of hard when I feel like you're kind of in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
and in all honesty, should I have been that rude? Probably not. Was I that rude? Absolutely.
It's what happened.
I know I made her cry because I was just angry and I was like, why do you get to judge me for who I am? And, like, I'm queer. That's not something that's gonna change.
And this comes up later in the story, because for context, she had another best friend at the time who was her brother, but shit happened.
Not me, right? No, I didn't have a brother. Not
no,
back then.
like, she had the girl that we're talking about had a brother
yeah.
who you were, Chloe had a brother who you were close with. Remember the story? Which Chloe? Zach. Like, the girl at the party who said that shit had a brother who you were close with.
Oh my god!
But
I forgot about that, because, I remember what you're talking about, because then she went to her fucking brother. She went to him, who was my fucking best friend and my crush at the time. She went to him and told him that I was gay. And then he came up to me and was like, hey, I have a question for you. But, like, do you like girls? And I was like, yeah, I thought that was a well-known thing. I was like, yeah, I thought everybody in the school knew this already.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I didn't. And then he's like, well, I don't care. He told me he didn't care. But then she was like, well, I do. And he was like, well, I don't. And, like, I remember this was, like, outside of you. You weren't here for it.
Yeah.
And the two of them got into a fight because of the fact that I was like, I don't give a flying fuck. I forgot about that bitch. I completely forgot about that bitch. Yeah. I hated her ass. I fucking hated her ass.
Yeah, but it comes into play because it was kind of a way of self-discovery for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, because it was during my self-discovery, and I was kind of realizing, oh, I hate people like this.
Right.
Because I didn't realize how I felt about people like that, but all I remember at the time was being kind of upset that I had no say in what play we were doing when I was friends with that girl. But basically, but for context, like, we had kind of, and I'm pretty sure.
So no, here's one part of the story that I wanted to emphasize though. So during her transitioning, first of all, I gave you a bra. Like, I gave her this bra that I took from the I don't remember where I got it actually.
Lost and found at school.
I think it was something like that. But I got her a bra that it didn't fit me anymore, so I gave it to her.
I think I still have it.
No, you don't, because I came and got it back.
Oh, okay, you did?
Yeah, I did. So anyways, I gave her a bra to help her transition, and like I would help her like do her makeup and her hair and like dress her up and everything. And on top of that, though, while she was going through her transitioning, we were still friends at the time, and I realized that I was like, I don't think I'm a girl. Like I remember telling her, I was like, why do you like this stuff? Like, I genuinely did not understand why she liked some of that stuff. And I was like, I don't think I'm a girl. Like, I don't think I'm just a girl. And then other days I was like, oh, I don't know. I think I'm okay with being a girl. And then I got into, and then we went to this seminar. Her dad did. Well, actually. Yeah. She didn't go. We went to this seminar, and my parents went with me, and then her dad was there. And it was about gender identity, and it was talking about all the different genders, including non-binary. And at the time, it didn't teach about gender fluid. It only taught about non-binary. I think it mentioned gender fluid, but I didn't really understand it too.
I'm pretty sure it was like more taboo back then than it is now.
Right.
So.
And so like it was they were explaining what non-binary was, and I'm just sitting there listening to this seminar, and I'm like, I think I might be non-binary. I think I might be NB. And so I talked to her dad afterwards, because again, you weren't here for it.
Yeah.
And I pulled him aside, and I was like, hey, Dennis, I think I might be NB, and I want to tell my parents. And he was like, okay, I'll help you tell your mom. And so I told my mom, and because, we were in front of her dad, she was like, okay. But then later on told me I can't be NB.
Like, because all I remember is being confused because my dad comes home and he's like, well, and I was like, how'd their parents take it? And he was like, they took it really well. And then I hear from you they didn't. So.
No. So. The point on why her dad like invited my family and I to the seminar was so that I could help them understand what transgender was with her. Yeah. And he went so that he could understand, like her dad went so that he understood how to help her. And how to help her transition, and how to make her feel better with being trans. And for me though, it was a seminar that helped me with gender identity. Now, mind you, later on in life, I figured out I was gender fluid and not non-binary.
Sometimes I think I remember the reason I wasn't there was because back then I was out by like 8 o'clock and it was like at 9. So
yeah, it was late. It was late. But then after that. I remember I told you, I was like, hey, I want to use they, them pronouns. And you picked it up pretty good. There was a few moments where you would accidentally use she, and I would look at you. I would just, like, stare at you, like...
No, and then I think I got intimidated by your stares and realized my mistake.
Yeah, she picked it up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And just like I did with her pronouns.
So this gets back to school, where we both now, by this point, were pretty out and proud.
Yeah, we were... And the whole school... When I came out as bi, the entire school knew within a week. Like, I'm not kidding.
And because of how I transitioned, everyone kind of just figured it out.
Yeah.
And so the reason I brought this kid up, right, the kid we talked about earlier, was Chloe? Because, yeah, her brother.
Oh, like, Zach.
Is because he, like, I remember we were at lunch, right, and this was after we were both out and proud. He walks up and I was like, why does Dad name think he's a girl?
I remember that! And I was like, excuse you, it's Christy, and she is a fucking girl. Like, I didn't swear at the time. I didn't swear as much as I did, as I do now. But
I remember you swearing pretty often.
I still swore a lot, but I didn't swear as much as I do now.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Christy, and she's a girl. There's no questioning it. Like, there's no question to it. Like, it's just because she is a girl. And I remember I explained it to him, and he was pretty understanding, actually. Like, I know he was he was a little confused, and, like, a little, like, I don't understand. So we kind of just left it there. But then, now, we start to get into the fallout.
Yep. So, that will be next episode.
Next episode on Cat and Jax. Ex-best friends, we will be getting into the huge fight that we had, and we're going to be sharing both of our perspectives on it, and talking about how each of us felt during that entire fight, and the moments that led up to it, specifically bringing up an old friend of hers that she introduced me to that was a shitty person. And
I'll have to trigger warning it for the next episode because
Right.
of how she kind of treated me specifically. But
right, and so we'll get into that story a little bit more, and we'll make some jokes, make some laughs, maybe cry a little. You never know. We're both pretty emotional.
maybe some news perspective that we didn't share.
Right.
before
Well,
will
because
be shared.
I think it'd be good for us to be able to share our perspectives. Because
Yeah.
I know I had my own emotions, and I know that I haven't shared all of them. And also, it'd probably be good because I probably should have shared those emotions before.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever shared mine fully too.
No.
Like, I think I've kind of just, like, I've kind of stayed quiet in my perspective a lot of the time.
Right.
I feel like.
So, anyways, catch you all next
Yeah,
week.
catch you all later.
Bye.
Bye.